This is Murphy Ellis.
And I'm Caleb Sham.
And welcome back to the
Two Bruvs, One God podcast. All right, so this episode's going to be a little bit different than the last one. Last one, we were kind of just answering questions about ourselves. This one, though, is going to be like a typical podcast. We're going to have different segments, so we'll talk about a few different things. And that's just kind of the general flow of the next several podcasts for this series.
Right, so this segment is called Life In, and we're just going to talk about what we're doing in life. Now, some of these segments will come back, and we'll keep doing recurring segments, but they will change some, so be ready for that. So what's been going on in your life, man? What have you been up to?
Not a ton, honestly. I mean, I'm working right now on building a logo for the college program I'm in. That's been a lot of fun because I got to give them like multiple different like ideas so that they can pick which one they like best. But that's been a lot of fun just to do. And then I'm working on something else. I can't tell you about it just yet. You'll find out. I know. If we do this segment next week, you'll be able to. I'll tell you. But I'm working on something really cool. You're gonna find out soon. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Okay. But how about you?
Okay. So I am in the show. We talked about last week that we both done theater, and I'm continuing to do theater, not at Community Christian School, but a different place now. And they're doing Annie, and I'm playing Bert Healy, who, if y'all have seen Annie or remember the movie, there's this scene where they're on the radio, and Bert Healy is the very like over the top, very loud. So basically me, like character. He's like the radio personality basically, and that's been super fun. Other than that, man, I'm just making go with life. It's both of us, are still in school. Like he's doing college work, I'm still in high school. So and basically that. All right, so we're gonna move to this next segment. We're gonna do like top 5s, top 10s, maybe even top 20s sometime, maybe even top 100. We'll see what happens.
That'd be wild. Top 100.
100th episode.
I mean,
that'd be the whole episode.
That would be the entire episode.
Yeah, let's not do that. Never mind.
Ranking our top 100 years.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to go. 100 episodes. Top 100 episodes.
That would
be awesome.
So subscribe so that once you see, hey, we made it to 100 episodes, we'll rank our.
Oh, you know what I didn't say that we did this week? We posted our first episode.
We did post our first
Today's
episode.
Monday. Yes, this is coming out Wednesday. So, I have a confession to make. I'm very sorry. Last episode, I kind of lied on accident. I said we were recording episode 2 that day, which we did.
We did.
But
we decided that maybe we got a little too carried away. And so we're not going to post that, at least right now. Yeah. Maybe in the future. Maybe.
Okay.
But
if we get to like 50 episodes and someone like the day of the 50th episode comments, are there any episodes that y'all have not posted? We will post like clips of it.
Yeah.
Like we will. It has to be the day of though. Okay.
Yeah,
exactly. So we're it's take 2 on episode 2 basically. But we will say we've seen some pretty good results from our stuff. We have Instagram now, so go check us out. Two Bruvs, One God on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts.
We're not on Apple Podcasts yet. I'm working on that.
We're going to very soon though. So continue to check those out. We're gonna be posting content on there like reels and shorts, and tell all your friends about us. Also, we have how many subscribers is that on YouTube and followers on Spotify?
I think on YouTube we're at like 18, and on Spotify is 13, I believe.
Okay, and then what is it on Instagram? It's
on Instagram, 13. I think we're also at about 13. Yeah. Okay,
so let me tell you, all these episodes have like 100 views basically, or like the episode that we posted and then the short we posted. Yeah. We have 2 things out right now, and they all have like 100 views ish. So that means that like 90 of y'all because it's across different platforms. like 80, 90 of y'all are not subscribed. So subscribe, man. What are you doing?
Yeah. And if you're like on YouTube, that subscribe button's probably flashing rainbow right now. It's like, hey, why aren't you subscribed? So go ahead, subscribe. That way you never miss any of our future uploads.
Also, like, check this out. Like, scroll down. If I say like this video, the like flashes, that happens too. Yeah. So
And then to our Instagram, I have it linked on. I know I have it linked on the YouTube account. I don't know if I have it linked on Spotify just yet, but like I said, go follow us on Instagram. We got funny content coming up soon.
Yeah, very, very soon. Yeah, please, if you like the video, subscribe. You don't have to, but if you do, that helps us out a lot. So we're going to move to this next segment. This is going to be top 5. All right, this next segment that we're going to be doing is top 5, like I just said. We're excited for this one. So both me and Caleb really love CCM, which if y'all don't know what that means, that's contemporary Christian music or Christian contemporary music. Just depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
But yeah, so any music that's come out, like if y'all like Toby Mac or Crowder or even like Brandon Lake, that's all like contemporary Christian music.
Yep.
We count worship in with that because we both love just like worship music too for the church. So we're gonna be doing our top 5 songs. We're gonna do it this year, but there are some that are 24 too, just like in the past.
Yeah.
So do you want to start us off with your number 5? He's
Sure.
got it in his head. I had to write it down. So.
All right. So my number 5 spot is called "Fight of My Life" by Ring Collective. That's a new one. I don't know if you listened to that. I really like it because there's one part where it's like, I need you now. I'm in a war for my mind. I need you in the fight of my life. And I just really like that because especially like I've been talking with some of the guys in my college group and just how true that is right now. Like we're in a war for our mind every day. And so we just need God in the fight of our life.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the lead guy from Ring Collective, as a singer myself, he sings so high.
He does.
It's insane. Like oh my gosh. He's like a soprano, basically.
Yeah.
It's insane. He's so up there. But all their stuff is really amazing. You saw them in concert last year.
I did, yeah. I saw them, I don't know if it was a year or 2 ago, but they were really good. They were similar. They did a lot of almost even storytelling, similar to when we saw Sidewalk Prophets.
Yeah.
Not as much as them. I won't say not as good, but not as much as Sidewalk Prophets did. But they were really cool to see in concert.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep.
All right, so my number 5 is "Nothing Sweeter" by Toby Mac.
Ooh, that is a good one.
And I know. All y'all haters out there are just like, it's just like The Goodness. I know Caleb's singing that like that right now. Yes, it is. It's basically the exact same song. Still hits just as hard. I do like The Goodness a little bit better. Just so y'all know, putting that out there. But I love his new song, "Nothing Sweeter" too. So we talked about when we were filming episode 2, which will not be released. This is the new episode 2. But we were talking about how Toby Mac's son had passed away, and he had said that he didn't know if he was going to be able to write more happy songs. But then he came out with like "The Goodness" and "Nothing Sweeter" and all these songs, and they're incredible.
So great, yeah.
Number 4?
Yeah, number 4 for me is "Wannabe" by Danny Gokey.
Yeah,
I know, that's such a good one. That's one where like I can just wake up to that song and just feel good for the rest of the day. Like I don't know, I really like that one. Especially because it's a newer one. And so he's coming to concert here soon, like in a week or 2, I think. So
I need to go see it.
I know. Hopefully he plays that song. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I hope so, bro. I need to get my tickets to that. Do you have tickets yet?
I have tickets for it.
Okay,
we can go watch it together.
Yo, hey, y'all can meet us there. We should vlog some there. You think that lasts a little bit?
They might. I don't know.
We should. We could see if we could get like one of the band members on. I know. We'll see. That may be coming to you soon. We'll see. My number 4 is "Unstoppable" by Crowder, and it should be higher, but there's some other songs that I just feel really connected to as well. But "Unstoppable," I know it's probably on your list too. But that song is so good. It's just that banjo hits, and
right?
Like, oh, it's so good.
It's so good. Yeah. All right, number 3 for me. I have "Can't Steal My Joy" by Josiah Queen with Brandon Lake. That one came out. I think that came out this year, right? Or was it in December of 24? It was.
I think it's this year.
I think it was this year. Yeah.
I remember when that came out. Though, I was like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's a really good song. And again, just another good one where it's like, no matter what comes, like the world. Because one of the lines, I forget exactly how it says it, but it's like something along the lines of, "What the world can't give, it can't take away." And in the same way, like the world can't give us true joy, only Jesus can. And so, no matter what comes, the world can't steal that joy.
Yeah, that's so true. That's something the song "Graves in the Garden" says, something kind of like that. That like I search the world, but nothing can fill me. Like for me specifically, like money, I've noticed that can't fill me. Girls can't fill me. Whatever. Like it doesn't fill me up as much as Jesus does.
Right.
Like every time when I'm worshiping, you just have that sense. I'm sure a lot of y'all know what I'm talking about. You just have that sense that you just feel so filled by the Spirit and by Jesus. It's just so different from everything else. So
it is,
my number 3 kind of will pertain to that. It's also Brandon Lake's song "Hard Fought Hallelujah."
Oh yeah,
and that one's kind of talking about praising even when we don't feel like it, praising even when we've had a rough day. And sometimes that hallelujah comes easy and we feel amazing that day. We've gotten up, we went to church, dressed kind of nice, some Phil Wickham starts playing, and we feel great worshiping. Then some days we've had a terrible week. We've had family issues, whatever has happened, and we come in and still choosing to praise during that is such a powerful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And then for my second, it's really been growing on me recently. It's gotten a lot closer to my number 1 spot. I've really enjoyed it. It's called "Oh Death" by Mercy Me.
Yeah, I forgot about that one, bro.
I remember the first time I saw it off of like I think I stay up way too late. It was probably midnight on the Friday that it came out. And I saw it and I was like, oh, Mercy Me has a new song. They haven't had a new song in a good little bit. Let me listen to it. And I was like, whoa, this is like it's different, but it's still really good. It's almost like a song you just want to dance. It's like Happy Dance. Like it's just such a good song, and it's got like such great like ideas in it as well. Like I don't know, I really like that song. It's been growing on me so much.
I think that it sounds like acoustic at the beginning, but I think they use like an octave. I forget what it's called, but like an octave ukulele thing.
Yeah,
which is really cool too.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing.
It is such a good one.
All right, my number 2. I totally spelled it wrong. Or I not spelled it wrong, but I typed it wrong. It was like auto-corrected into something else, but I know what it is. If I Got Jesus by Ben Fuller. I did special at church yesterday, and I didn't do that one, but I almost did it. Ben Fuller, his voice is so insane, and he's a crazy story too. That he's only been a Christian for like 3 years, and he's very new to it. He was doing country music in Nashville, and then was saved, and is now on fire for Jesus. And I love all his music. Like he's insane too. Yeah,
he's really good. Yep. All right, then my number 1 is, I mean, you know what it is. It's Unstoppable by Crowder. It's just such a good song, like you said. Like I just love it. I remember staying up and like listening to the Exile album with you, because it's like one of the last songs. It's like either the second to last or third to last or something. And so you're kind of not expecting it, and then all of a sudden, bam, there it is. It's like, whoa, what just happened?
It's so good. It's so good. We were texting each other like, this is crazy, bro. Sometimes in Christian music, you're not expecting it to be like, fun, I guess, which is kind of bad to say, but like you're not expecting a lot of fun in Christian music normally, but when someone comes out with a song like that, it's amazing. I love that.
Such a good one.
All right, my number 1 is, now this one's a little bit older, but still within the year. That's Who I Praise by Brandon Lake. I talked about it last episode. I love that song so much. That's one of my favorites. Yeah,
that is a really good one. I thought about putting that one on, but I was like, does it count? Does it not? But that is a really good song. Yeah,
it's so good. All right, so every episode we're going to have a specific topic that's a little bit deeper that we're going to talk about. Please email us ideas if you have a certain subject you want us to talk about. Today we're going to be talking about something Caleb mentioned last week, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and how they as young men in the Bible were chasing after God. And no matter what everyone else was saying, everyone else was doing these things that God had told them not to do and that they didn't agree with, and they still continued doing what God wanted them to do. Even if that meant death sometimes or facing death. And there's so many times in these stories, we're going to be talking about 3 of these stories when they first were in Nebuchadnezzar's court and were tempted with certain foods. And then some higher stakes one when they were thrown into the fiery furnace and when Daniel was thrown into the lion's den. And throughout all of this, they kept going and just following what God said to do. Now, I do want to say, this does not mean they were sinless, because the Bible says all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God in Romans. I'm sure so many of y'all have heard that verse. They still were sinful people through all this, and that's a good lesson to learn, even if it doesn't specifically talk about some of those things. They still sinned and they still messed up, and even though how much they were following God, humans are still going to sin. It's that human nature. We're still going to sin. But that doesn't mean we can't be like this and continue following God when everybody else is trying to get us to sin. So Caleb's going to give you a recap of those stories, and then we're going to kind of look at some of the scriptures and specifics of just certain things it says and talk about it. So you want to start us off?
Absolutely. So in the first one, we have Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And actually, Daniel's name is Daniel, but Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they had different names. I forget. I know it's Mishael, Belshazzar. I'm forgetting the third name, but that was their their Hebrew name,
Hananiah.
Hananiah. That's right. And so they all meant something about God specifically, like Yahweh, the one true God. And so they're all living in Israel. And when Nebuchadnezzar from Babylon came and he captured Israel, and he took all of the best young men that he could, that were going to be easy to train in the Babylonian ways to be able to serve him. And so Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were all chosen. They were all taught the ways of the Babylonian ways. They were given new names. They were given Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, and then Daniel was given what was Daniel given? Daniel was given a different name. It's not when we
Belteshazzar.
It is Belteshazzar. Okay, so
that's tongue twister, man.
It is, yeah. And so they're given these new names, and these new names actually follow the Babylonian gods. gods. So they're stripped of their Hebrew identity, given these new identities. They're taught all these Babylonian ways. And then they're sat in front of the court with King Nebuchadnezzar because they're doing so well. And he invites them in for a feast. And so at this feast, they're given all these like king's foods. And so it's a lot of like, I mean, it's a king's feast. There's wine and everything. And Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are like, no, we're not going to eat this food. And they give King Nebuchadnezzar a challenge. They're like, how about we eat what we want to eat? And we'll see at the end of, is it like 3 weeks or something? 3 days? I think it's 3 days. We're going to see who is stronger. Is it going to be us or is it going to be your men? And so they choose just to eat vegetables and drink water. And that's it.
10 days.
10 days?
So this is why we have the Bible here too, because we want to make sure as we're talking about this stuff that we're accurate on it, because we know these stories, but sometimes there's little details in there that we want to get. So
yeah. And so Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is going to eat vegetables and water for 10 days, and the king's men are going to eat the king's feast and drink the wine. So at the end of the 10 days, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and Daniel, they're all glowing. They're real strong. You can see just how much they've grown, and they're so much greater than Nebuchadnezzar's men. And so then they started to realize, like, whoa, hang on, but maybe there is something here. And so that's kind of like the first story is like they're given this king's food. They could just eat it, but they decided, no, we're not going to eat that. We're going to, because that's not right. This is stuff that God has told us not to eat. And so we're just going to eat vegetables. We're just going to drink water. And like God is going to show that like, hey, they can live off this. They can, by following me, they're going to grow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to say some of the two other stories we're talking about, that's like a life or death situation that comes. And now this one may seem like a little tame compared to those others, but it's still the exact same. Like you may not be in a life or death situation to follow God, but you may be in a situation where you may sacrifice like drinking or saying some stuff that you don't agree with or different things like that. I do want to say in here, in verse 4, chapter 1, it says, young men without any physical defect, good-looking, suitable for instruction and all wisdom, knowledgeable, perceptive, and capable of serving in the king's palace. So these were men that were like basically the top of their class. They were good-looking, they were smart, they were handsome. They had like all these things, and Nebuchadnezzar took these men and were training them for his court, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the next one we're going to talk about, and we'll come back to this, I'm sure, and talk about different ones. We're going to talk about, this is in chapter 3, and Nebuchadnezzar had this statue. I'm going to let Caleb talk about this in a second, but basically wanted them to bow down to it. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's probably a few years later now. Nebuchadnezzar has decided, like, hey, I'm going to create a gold statue of myself that's like several feet tall, and I'm going to have everyone bow down and worship to it. And if they don't, I've got this giant fiery furnace that they're going to get thrown into. And so at this time, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are there, and the statue has been put in place, and it's time for them to bow down. So they play, I think it's a horn or a trumpet, and it's time for everyone to bow down. Everyone bows down, except Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They decide they're not going to worship King Nebuchadnezzar, that the only person they're going to worship is the one true God. And so some of the king's officials notice, like, hey, those 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the ones that were in your court earlier, that were only eating like the vegetables and drinking the water, they're not bowing down. And so King Nebuchadnezzar, he gets mad. He gives them another chance. He's like, hey, I'm going to give y'all another chance. Bow down now or you're getting thrown into the fiery furnace. And they don't bow down. They're like, no, we only serve the one true God. We're not going to bow down and worship you. And so they're going to get thrown into the fiery furnace. And as they're taking them there, I'm pretty sure it says, you can double check me, but that they crank it up even higher than it was originally going to be. And so the men that are taking Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and throwing them in, the king's officials, they get burnt up and die as they're throwing them in. And like the ones that are standing guard as well. And so they're in there, and after a few minutes, one of the king's guards walks by and he notices, and he's looking, he's like, hey, King Nebuchadnezzar, how many men did we throw in? It's like, we threw in 3. Well, then why is there 4 men still standing in there after all this time? And it's that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they're still in there. They should be dead, but they're not. And there's a 4th man in the fire. Then we believe that's Jesus that was in there with them, that had saved them. And so they turn off the fire, they pull them out, and they're not torched at all. They don't smell like the smoke, which is crazy because I don't know about you, but like if you're just by a fire for a long period of time, you smell like the smoke. And so they're in it, and they don't even smell like the smoke. They're not torched. You wouldn't know that they've just been in this giant blazing fire for so long, and they're completely unharmed. And King Nebuchadnezzar realizes, he's like, oh, your God is the one true God. And so they tear down the gold statue, and they're like, everyone now, like, look at what happened with Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Clearly, the Lord that they worship is the one true God, and that we should worship him instead of him.
Yeah, Nebuchadnezzar has such a wild journey because he'll be like, "Worship me, worship my gods," and he's like, "No, your God is the true God."
Yeah.
And then even continued after this, he was like, God took him off the throne basically, and he was with animals for years.
Yeah.
And all this crazy stuff, and he eventually comes back to God, and I don't know, it's just one of those crazy things that some people will do this though, and we're guilty of this sometimes, that we'll start with God and be with him for a while, and then we'll be like, it'll get good, life will get good, and we'll be like, I don't know if we need him anymore. And then things start going wrong, and we're like, no, we need God now. And then it's just the cycle that keeps going. Right. I think that everyone experiences that.
Yeah. And it's also this theme of like Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are being faced with the life or death situation. It's either worship someone they don't believe in or die. And they choose death because that's where the verse, like, even if, there's so many songs about it. There's the Mercy Me song about it, and there's the Ring Collective. It's like they know that even if God doesn't save them, that like they're still willing to do it, even if they know that God can, and that he can save them, but even if he doesn't, like this is still something they're going to do. And I think that's a great thing, like to take away from that, is that like God can save us no matter like what might happen. And so even if he doesn't, we should still follow him, worship him, do what's right, because in the end, that's what's important.
Amen. So, yeah, I want to say there's a story, I forget what his name is, but the guy who wrote "Is Well With My Soul," basically his wife and kid, they were on a boat, and they didn't make it throughout this trip. And so him through it all, you would think he was writing "Is Well With My Soul," like, well, on a cruise ship or like chilling, like in a royal palace, and he's just like, "Is well with my soul." But no, he was writing this as he got the news of people he loved so dearly that had died.
Yep.
But through all that, he still had peace, this peace inside of him, that God was still with him through all that, and he still was able to write these words, "Is well with my soul," and that's something that's in these scriptures, that even though they were challenged so much, and throughout his life, like Daniel specifically, the other guys too, but they started when they were like very young, like we believe like about teenagers, and still him when he was like 60, 70, like up there, he was still having to fight in these ways because of the situation they were in, and he still was saying like, "Is well with my soul," because he knew God was with him through all this. So this next one we're going to talk about is probably the most famous of these. Daniel and the Lions is what we call it. So will you want to talk about
that? So this is several years later. King Nebuchadnezzar is no longer the king. There have been several kings at this point. And so we're on to a new king. And this king, he very much like enjoys spending time with Daniel. They've grown very close, and they're very great friends. And so Daniel is constantly, every day he goes and he prays, he faces Jerusalem, and he prays.
3 times a day.
3 times a day, yep. And he's out there, and the king knows this, and he enjoys him. And there's these other officials of the king that just really don't like Daniel. And they're like, all right, we need to find a way to get him like thrown out of here. We don't want him anymore. And so they start spying on him. And they're like, how can we do this? And they can't find anything that he's doing wrong, like that would get him in trouble with the king. And so they're like, all right, we're going to have to make a new law. So they find that since Daniel's praying every day, they're going to try and pass this law with the king, that no one is allowed to pray to anyone other than the king. And so they go to the king and like, hey, we have this new idea for a law. Everyone here in Babylon is only allowed to pray to and basically almost worship, again, you and no one else. And the king's like, yeah, sure, that sounds fine to me. And he signs the law, and it's passed. And so a little bit later, Daniel finds out that this new law is passed. And what's he decide to do? He decides to go home, open his windows towards Jerusalem, and pray 3 times a day. 3 times a day, just like he has always done. And it even says, like in the Bible, it says like he continues to pray just as he has always done. Yeah. That even though it's against the law, it's what's right. And so he continues to pray. The men, they're spying on him again. They see that he's breaking this law, And so they grab Daniel, they take him to the king, and they're like, hey, king, we found that Daniel, he's already broken this law. And the consequence for the law is that they're like he's gonna get thrown into the lion's den. And the king is furious. He's like, there's not with Daniel, but with the men. He's like, there's no way, right? Like he's trying to find a way out of it. He's trying to get Daniel to like free from this. And the men start to worry a little bit. They're like, oh, it's like, is he gonna get free? But the king, he can't find any way to save Daniel. And so he's fasting all night. And finally he wakes up and he's like, I'm sorry, Daniel, but there's nothing I can do. And he prays that like God will save Daniel from the teeth of the lion. So he throws Daniel into the lion's den. He seals it. Again, he's fasting all night. And when he comes back to check in the morning, God has sealed the mouths of the lions and has saved Daniel from dying to the lions. And so the king celebrates, he rejoices, he pulls out Daniel. He realizes that his God is the one true God. And he gets extremely furious with these men that try to trick him. And he throws them into the lion's den where they basically instantly die.
The Bible says they didn't even hit the ground before they were dead, basically. What I was thinking when you were saying about this was the story of Joseph as well.
Yeah.
That if y'all know the story of Joseph, Joseph had 12 brothers. And that's right? It's 12, or did he have 11? I think he mixed that up.
He had 11. Yeah, because he was one of 12.
I got you. So
So
he has 11 brothers, and he was basically the favorite of his father, and so they all really didn't like him. So they ended up selling him into slavery, and he was in jail for a long time. And spoiler alert, it ended up working all out in the end.
Yeah.
But the scripture right here, it says, because the Lord was with him, and the Lord made everything that he did successful. Now, that's just a part of that story. But that's something that's always jumped out to me in that story, is that through it all, God was with Joseph. It's the same for these other men. That through all that, God was still with them. Through all whatever's happening with us in life, God is still with us through it all. And I hope you all are encouraged by that today.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. And so as we kind of mentioned at the end of the last episode, we gave you the option to like email us a couple questions at our email, which again, if you want to email us any questions, it's twobruvs1god@gmail.com. And it's in the description of anywhere you're watching, whether it be Spotify or YouTube. And so we're going to just answer a few questions. This isn't all the questions. We got several questions. This is just a few. And so if we didn't answer any of your questions, don't worry. We saw your questions, and we're going to answer them later on. We just wanted to answer just a few of the first ones that came in. So these are the first few questions that we got.
All right. So these first questions are from Fox Rutherford, which we know him.
Yep.
There's 10 of these. I think we're going to do all 10. So
all right.
One. All right. So number one, what is your favorite color? Someone didn't watch the episode.
Yeah, that was like one of the first questions we answered.
Maroon.
Yeah, red, like
red,
Lego red.
Yeah. Be sure to watch the full episode, Fox. Okay, throw a shade, all right. 2, what is your quest? Quest in life is to spread the gospel and follow Jesus.
Yep, to know God and make him known.
Exactly. Get to heaven and hear well done.
Yep.
We've done his work. 3, what's the flight speed of an unladen swallow?
12.
Is it an African swallow or a European swallow? I wouldn't mix that up. I mean, maybe European or African. What's the capital of Assyria?
Assyria.
You know, I was trying. No, I was trying to, bro. I was trying to figure out what I didn't know it off the top of my head when I first read this, and I think that was like it was Nineveh in the Bible, and I was like, oh. Wait, it is because it is. So there's that. We should talk about doing that sometime.
We should.
That's a crazy story. Do you think your big toe feels self-conscious about being the big toe? We're not answering that, Fox.
Yeah, that's.
Come on, buddy. No.
Do you think the little toes are worried that they're little compared to the big toe? That's the real question for you.
Oh gosh. 6. Do you remember to turn the stove off always?
No. Yeah.
Caleb forgot to turn it off. 7. When cheese gets its picture taken, what does it say? Well, first of all, okay.
I'm sorry. Go.
Well, first of all, cheese doesn't talk, so
good point.
Is crazy, bro. This may be my favorite segment. 8. Can a vegetarian eat animal crackers? Depends on the vegetarian.
True. You know, there's probably that one vegetarian/vegan that's just like, it's an animal still.
Yeah, probably.
No offense. No offense
to anyone. No offense to anyone. Please don't cancel us. 9. What's the best Wi-Fi name you've ever seen? I don't look at other people's Wi-Fi names.
I saw one
Are
that
they-
was tell my Wi-Fi I love her. I thought that was funny.
That's pretty good. 10. Why do round pizzas get cut into triangles and served in square boxes? Because America. America. All right. This next one, it's a couple too. It's from John Beggs. He said, "Okay, fellas, these aren't the deepest question, but here goes. Y'all talk about music so much. What are some of your favorite artists?" We kind of talked about this a little bit.
I think that was in the episode that isn't being
right.
released. Yeah, so they don't know.
Until y'all tell us.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, Crowder. We both love Crowder.
Yeah, Crowder.
I'm trying to think. Kobe James and Joseph O'Brien, and then in the secular world, I'm trying to think who I like there too.
Rick Astley.
Is it
unironically?
Like genuinely, not just never gonna give you up. Like all his music.
Dipping my feet. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think
yeah.
So.
From his newer album, that one I like. That one was good.
Yeah,
it's very American for a British guy.
Yeah, bro. Is it wrong to say I like Kendrick Lamar?
Murray.
Is that wrong? I don't know. He's good. I don't know. Is that
Leave us
wrong?
a comment. Do you like Kendrick Lamar? I don't know
is
that.
Wrong? Is it wrong for a Christian to listen to Kendrick Lamar? Tell us in the comments below. Y'all talk about theater so much. Who are your dream roles? I know yours, Murph, but imagine your listeners don't all. He does know mine. Caleb, do you have any?
Oh man, I don't know. There would be so many. I guess. So what I've always wanted to do is I wanted to do The Lion King. I think that'd be fun to do with my brother too. Like if I was Pumbaa and he was Timon. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I want y'all to do that. That'd be so. That'd be great. Yeah. Mine is Harold Hill in the music, man. I love that's number one, and then I have so many. I have a notes thing in my phone that's like all my dream roles.
Yeah.
But that's one. I want to play Gaston and Beauty and the Beast one day. Yeah. That'd be very fun. And there's plenty of others, but those are like the top 2. Do you have any favorite books of the Bible and otherwise, or movies? You mentioned what you were reading at the time, but not necessarily what your favorite books were. I mean, I'm gonna say the Bible, but like book of the Bible. I mean, genuinely, I know that's just a Christian answer, but I do really love the Bible. So, but for favorite book, I'm trying to. I love Daniel. Like genuinely, I know we just talked about it, but I love Daniel so much for Old Testament, New Testament. Man, I guess just any of Paul's letters, like Galatians. I love Galatians, Ephesians, like any of those are really great.
Yeah, I really like. So if we're doing Old Testament, so my overall favorite book of the Bible is the Gospel of John. I really like just like especially like the intro, the end of John. Like I said, the very last chapter and verse of John is my favorite Bible verse. I just really like the Gospel of John. I think there's I don't know just the way that he gives the account of what happened. I really like that. Right. And then Old Testament, there's so many good ones. I don't know. I'd probably go. I really like Exodus. There's a lot of cool things that happen in Exodus, but then also Joshua and Judges. Oh yeah, I really like those. I mean, I don't know. There's so many like right around there. Joshua, Judges, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings. Like just all these like cool like battles and stories that happen and how it brings them closer to God. I really like those as well.
Also Proverbs too. Proverbs has some really, really great advice. Books in general. What do you have? The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. There's also 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, but that's a little more business based. But the teens one is kind of like for high school, and I love those books.
I really like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was.
Yeah. I really like the Wingfeather saga.
I haven't finished that yet.
They're really good.
I have like 3 chapters.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah,
I know. I really like those books. Those are a lot of fun to read. And then like I said, I was reading the Wild at Heart. That one's good. But yeah, I would probably say the Wingfeather saga. Yeah.
I also really like. This is for movies. He also said movies. Do you have a favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Oh, it's hard to pick just one. I don't know. I really like the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh yeah.
I really like that one. Yeah, that one's good. I don't know. How about you?
Oh, I was gonna say. I forgot that we were still on books. I was about to say just the movie. I was like, I don't think that's a book either. But Remember the Titans? It's a football movie. It's so good. It's so good. It's basically about this school where that's being or has been segregated, and they're they're putting together like all the white students and the black students together, and they basically have to learn how to play on a football team together. And there's a lot of hate around this time surrounding that, but they become like basically brothers all together. And so it's a really, really awesome story.
Yeah.
All right, so it's actually, I think it is based on a true story.
I think
I will say that. I think I've heard that. So he said, I'll try to think of some more. Do you want philosophical questions, faith-related questions, political questions? Anyway, but no, by the way, sorry, I'm going to go ahead and answer that. No political questions. Maybe these and the others you'll no doubt get will keep you busy for a while. Devotedly, John.
Yeah. You can send like
anything.
Yeah. It's whatever you feel like.
Yeah. Well, we like the questions that are like, what's your favorite this? But also like questions about the Bible, questions about just anything. Like these questions we've gotten so far, I really like just anything, honestly.
Yeah. He did send me specifically a deeper question that I don't know if I told you about it. We might turn into like a reel or something. So again, follow us on Instagram because it's a really good question, and I think we could spend a long time talking about it. So we'll either turn it into a reel, or we might do it for an episode. I don't know. It was a really good question. So you can send deeper questions. You can send like little funny questions, whatever. And then again, like if we didn't answer your question, we'll get to it in like another episode or something.
Yeah, of course. And anything also, just not just questions, but if you're like, they should do this trend or something, like like email us on that.
Yeah, any
or
ideas?
You have either of our numbers or friends of us, like just text us, shoot us a text, and we'll get to it. This second one is from my little sister, actually, McKinley, and she said you guys should do two truths and a lie to see how well you know each other.
Yep.
We haven't thought about this at all.
Yeah.
Please
stand by.
All right, so I've got mine through. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to remember them really quick. Hold on.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I got time. Okay, one. Should I look you in the eyes? We'll do this. Should we do this?
We're gonna break when we get to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna break so hard. Okay. Wait, I feel like I can't. Okay, I really, really like country music. I like the Popeyes chicken sandwich better than the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich.
I wonder.
And, okay, and I've never been to Texas in my life. Okay,
say the second one again. Stare into the camera this time. I won't look at you.
I gave up. I like. We're keeping this whole thing, bro. I like the Popeyes chicken sandwich better than the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich.
Something tells me that's the lie, because I know you really enjoy Chick-fil-A sandwiches. I don't know if you've had Popeyes sandwiches; they're pretty good.
Is that your guess?
That is my guess.
That's the truth.
It's the truth.
Nah, Popeyes better.
He played me. With a fake break.
The lie. I've been to Texas.
You've been to Texas?
Yeah, I've been to Texas.
Oh, yeah.
And I really like country music. So
yeah, I do that. Yeah.
Okay, all right. You ready?
All right. Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh my gosh.
All right. When I was a baby, I swallowed a battery.
You definitely did that. Okay.
When I was in Phoenix, Arizona, I hugged a cactus.
Oh, I think I saw that picture.
And then I was in a play as Joseph when I was like 6 or 7.
Oh, the lie's the first one.
I swallowed a battery.
Yeah.
No.
Wait.
I didn't hug a cactus.
Was it Joseph? I should know.
You were like, I seen the picture. I was like,
wait,
what?
You haven't hugged a cactus? Wait, I thought I saw a picture of you hugging a cactus.
No, I don't.
Wait, really? Oh, okay. Well,
I was trying so hard not to laugh. Like, oh yeah, I saw that picture. I was like, what picture?
I thought you sent me a picture of you hugging a cactus, actually. Well, thank you, McKinley, for that question. That was wild.
That was a good one. Neither of us got it right. That's.
All right, so I guess that's the end of episode 2.
Yep.
Make sure to follow or like if you want to do that or comment or whatever.
You don't have to, but it is free. Helps us out a bunch.
Also, if you're not subscribed, like why? That's my question. You don't have to subscribe, but just think in your head, why are you not subscribed? Try to come up with a reason.
Yeah, I mean, and if you subscribe, you'll never miss an episode from us.
Exactly.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We can't text all y'all every time.
Right.
Not that all our viewers are just our friends.
Right. Which, speaking of,
Um,
you should share this with a friend or someone.
Yeah.
Like, just be like, hey, you should check this out.
Yeah, if you want to support us, that'd be great. So, all right, this has been the second episode of the Two Bruvs, One God podcast.